Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner. Relax, kick up your feet as we get into this week's read. Tonight we'll be reading Loving Topaz, a novella by James Colwell. Head on over to Amazon.com and download your books today. Come and support our authors. But we're going to get into this book. Loving Topaz. Tell a friend to tell a friend and then tell their friends. We over here reading, y'all. But let's get into this book. Are you ready? Shh. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner, where we will continue our read this week of Loving Topaz. I don't know why I want to keep saying Lopez. That should have been his name. Loving Topaz by James Colwell. I hope you guys are ready for our read tonight. We will be beginning on chapter 3. Little rundown of what happened in chapter 1 and 2. We know that Topaz and his family are not necessarily getting along. Well, more so his sister, Trianne, or whatnot, with her nasty mouth and shenanigans or whatnot. We know she beat him up. I swear, can't nobody fight in these books. But she beat him up last week or whatnot, and Uncle Joe came to the rescue, gave her a few words, let her know that it was not appreciated. It was not appreciated the way she spoke to him. But we know his real name is Eugene and not Topaz. The boyfriend gave him the name. The mother does not know about the little nickname that he's been given. But a disclaimer tonight. There may be much cussing. I don't know yet because I have not read this part of the book. But heavy on the disclaimer. It will be some cussing and other shenanigans going on in the book. But I think all of y'all are grown enough. All of y'all grown enough to hear the words that are going to be coming out of my mouth. So if you have your book, if not, sit back, enjoy, and we're going to get into this read. We are in chapter 3 of Loving Topaz. Okay? Overnight at the Jespers. And we know that the Jespers are his mother's boyfriend's parents. That's who the Jespers are. After reaching the Jespers' home, it was strange to me, but I immediately started to feel at ease. They have a beautiful home. I've been there a few times before, but never without Waleed, and I had never gone upstairs. Mrs. Jesper immediately took me up to Waleed's old room. She told me to make myself at home, take a bath, and help myself to some of Waleed's clothes. She suggested that I get some rest. By this time, it was already about 11 p.m. Waleed's room was almost exactly like my room at home, but it was huge. My bedroom has a bathroom in it as well, but my gosh, Waleed's bathroom was almost as big as my room itself. I sat on the chair at his desk for a while, looking in the mirror. I had scratches on my cheeks and my neck. My neck was also a little swollen. I was really sore all over. I decided to get up and go take a bath. Just then I realized that I had forgotten my cell phone at home in the kitchen on the counter. I wanted to make sure my friends were okay and to let them know I was alright. That would have to wait. I stayed in the tub soaking for quite a while. All the bubbles had gone away and my water was becoming lukewarm. I figured it was time to get out. I found a pair of sweatpants in one of Waleed's drawers. Of course, they were way too big. I pulled the drawstring as tight as I could. Upon hitting that king-size bed, I was out like a light. I awoke to a feeling that someone was touching my face and then my head. I opened my eyes and was a little startled because there he was. Waleed was sitting on the edge of the bed, rubbing the top of my head. He said, I didn't mean to wake you. I just wanted to make sure you were alright. I was back at the house and I couldn't stop thinking about how all that shit jumped off. Me and your mom have been arguing up a storm. She doesn't want to admit that she was wrong, and your sis. Man, someone's got to sit and talk to her. She is like a crazy person, but for no reason. I sat up and noticed the clock said it was 2:35 a.m. And like Wally said, he was in bed before he came over. He was wearing pajama pants and a tank top. I stood up and said, let me go to the bathroom. When I came back, I was struggling again with that doggone drawstring. The pants were still almost falling off of me. Wally began to laugh at me. He said, you are so damn little, T. And yeah, earlier, what's up with you not wearing underwear? What was you doing? I noticed it and said to myself that I was going to ask you. That Mike dude noticed too. He was all in your face. What's up with him and you? I sat back on the bed and said, he's cool and he does like me like that, but I'm not really sure how I feel about him. I did let him kiss me once last summer, but that's it. Waleed pushed his dreads back out of his face and said, that better be all that went on. What you even know about that little nigga? Anyway, enough about that. How you feeling? You got some scratches and shit? I dropped my head down and said, I know. I don't even want anybody seeing me like this. I could kill Trianne. And Mom, I am so mad at them I could just... Waleed stopped me and grabbed my head and said, don't worry, T. Nobody's going to do that to you again. And you don't have to worry about your looks. You are the prettiest nigga I know. You alright, baby boy? Beautiful. Just like Topaz. After that, a silence was in the room. He still had my head in his hands and was just looking at me. I stared back at him. It was weird. He had lived with us for over 9 months and I never looked at him like I had been lately. Before I knew anything, child, I can't. Now this the mama boyfriend. Okay? Before I knew anything, our lips were touching, and though it was weird, I like it and it felt safe. He pulled his head away and said, this is wrong, T, but I can't help myself. Tell me if you want me to stop. I pray that you don't. You pray. I pray that you don't, but I will if you want me to. I really didn't want him to stop. It was like my soul was crying out to his and my whole body was heating up from the inside. I tried to start more conversation to deter the physical tension. I said, and for the record, man, I had on underwear earlier. It was just a fake out. I put them down so low that it wouldn't show. He swiftly slid his hand down the waistband of my sweats and slowly around and softly cut my behind and said, but you don't have on any now, though. Child, I can't. I could hear and feel my breath escaping my body through my mouth in a frantic sigh. I knew there was no going back. He kissed me again, and this time pushed his tongue into my mouth. It was like someone lit firecrackers inside of me. I was on fire, and I was going to take this leap and let Waleed put it out. Okay. He stood up and walked over to turn out the light and locked the door. I gave him a good look and everything he had was standing very attentively. I got a little nervous. That didn't last long. By the time he made it back over to the bed, he had stripped down to nothing. He said, I know this is your first time, so just follow my lead, okay? I nodded and went with the flow. Within seconds, I was naked. Once he embraced me, all the nervousness had dissipated. It was the most extraordinary experience I had ever had. He He literally taught me through every aspect of what went on, from showing me the best way to kiss him to putting a condom on him. At least he's safe. I felt as though we were one. There was not one place in my body for which he did not put his mouth or his hands. And I loved every minute of it. And when it ended, it got even better. We slept with me totally embracing his muscular frame. I have never felt so wanted or safe. I am upset. I awoke and looked over at the clock. It was 9:43 a.m. I was still fully engulfed in Waleed's grasp. I went to get loose and I heard him say, "Did I tell you to go anywhere? What's your rush? Is something wrong? Did I hurt you?" I said, "No, not at all. But don't you have to go to work? And what about your parents?" He paused and said, "I'm off today and my parents are gone. My mom and I talked when I came in last night. She knew I was here, so she didn't bother to wake us. Now, I have a question for you, Topaz." He kissed me softly on the back of my neck and said, "Can I have some more of you?" Okay. I felt like I was going to melt. And in an instant, the kiss on the neck turned into him running his tongue straight down the crease in my back, stopping at the small of my back. I didn't know what to do with myself. I started trying to move away from him. His touch was driving me crazy. He rolled over and pinned me down and said, "Don't go nowhere, T. I'm getting ready to show you something totally different. It may make you scream, and there's nobody here, so if you want, you can go ahead. Okay? Just let me have you, alright, T?" I got all nervous all over again, but I trusted him, so I nodded in agreement. He leaned up off of me and said, "Can you show me how flexible you are?" I gave him a puzzled look, and he then took my leg and began to stretch it upward toward my head. His face lit up in excitement. Then he said, "Shit, yeah, you got that good. I'm about to give you all I got. Are you ready?" I didn't know what the heck we was getting ready to go on, but I just shook my head yes. We got started, and it was completely different than what we did the night before, where it was slow and sensual. This was more exciting and acrobatic, but equally as enjoyable. And as he said, there were more points that I just yelled out his name. I couldn't help it. And I guess he couldn't either, because I heard my name being used quite a few times. He put me on the desk, child, on the dresser, on the floor, against the wall. And at a few points, he just literally carried me around and had his way with me as I was airborne. After about an hour and a half, I was exhausted. We went back to sleep for a few hours. About 3 p.m., we were showered and dressed and heading home. As I sat in the passenger seat of Waleed's SUV, I couldn't stop staring at the porch of the Jesper home, for I knew that 16-year-old Eugene Ballou had been left there, and Topaz had truly risen like a phoenix, and there was no going back. I knew that I had been forever changed that day. And scene. Baby, that was chapter 3. Hold on real quick. We're going to take a brief intermission, baby. I need some water after that one. Don't go nowhere. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner. Relax, kick up your feet as we get into this week's read. Tonight we'll be reading Loving Topaz, a novella by James Colwell. head on over to Amazon.com. Download your books today. Come and support our authors. But we're going to get into this book. Loving Topaz. Tell a friend to tell a friend and then tell their friends. We over here reading, y'all. But let's get into this book. Are you ready? Shh. Listen. Baby, chapter 3 had to sit me up and through there, okay? I am still hot and bothered, but I knew you know what? I'm gonna save that to the end. I'm gonna save it to the end, cause this week unfortunately it's gonna be a short week. I can't go into chapter 5 cause baby, that one is real long. But we gonna get on to chapter 4. Chapter 4. Woo. Woo. Change is scary. You think? The ride back to our house was interesting to say the least. At certain times, we just found ourselves looking at each other. I was thinking about how I had not really paid much attention to Waleed, and now I couldn't take my eyes off of him. Everything about him now seems to make a slight sensation on the inside of me. Even the bass in his voice made my stomach quiver. Okay. He was just staring at me while we were at a red light, and he said, "God damn, you so fucking beautiful, T. I don't know what we're gonna do. This shit crazy. You know I love you, right? But now I don't know. Damn." I turned my head and looked out the window and I said, "Waleed, I'm not a child. I know we're in a weird place. It should have never happened, but I ain't tripping off of it. You are my mom's boyfriend, and that's not going to change. It's on me to deal with now. I'm not going to say anything. It's our secret, but I don't regret it. It is what it is." Waleed's eyebrows kind of raised up as he said, "What the fuck you mean? It is what it is, T. I don't want you thinking I just dicked you down and oh well. That ain't what we did. You're more to me than that." I turned my body toward him and said, "Really? I guess I am. Technically, you're my stepdad. Isn't that cute? I'm not getting caught up in this, and you know it's over, just like I know it. It really never got started. Don't play with me. Please don't do that." I could tell Waleed was getting a little irritated with me, which never lasts long. But today, he wasn't backing away from his discontentment with me. He pulled the car over as we approached the parking lot of my school, which was about another 10 minutes from my home. He turned the car off and turned his body towards me. I could see he was getting angry, which didn't bother me. I knew he wouldn't hit me or anything, so I didn't even flinch. He said, "This ain't you, T. You don't just throw yourself away and then act like, what the fuck? I will not even let you be like that. You better than that, baby." Child, I took your virginity, and you're sitting here acting like it wasn't shit. I was starting to get mad now because he just wouldn't let it go. I said, "Well, what makes you think I was a virgin? I don't tell you everything about me. You ain't got me all pegged." Waleed grabbed my arm tightly and pulled me into him and said, "You trying to fuck with me, Topaz? I'm getting pissed off. And don't try to tell me no shit about you not being no virgin. You ain't got to tell me that nobody has had that ass. I've been watching it for almost 2 years now. And besides, when I ran up in it, I can tell that I was the one and only one that has been there. So don't say no shit like that to me no more. You hear me?" At that moment, A single tear ran down my cheek. I felt so stupid. I felt like I had been stalked and captured. Had he been really watching me around the house like he said and just made his move on me when he got the chance? I was too upset to even voice my concerns. About 2 minutes later, the rest of the tears came. I was breaking down pretty badly when Waleed lifted my head and he said, "Don't do that. Stop. Don't do that, T. I can't take it. I can't stand to see you cry. Please quit it. I'm sorry. It's just, I've been on you forever. And it's something that I'm really ashamed of and shit. You was like 12 the first time I seen you around the neighborhood. And I was like, damn. I didn't even know why I was being attracted to you. The weird thing is, it wasn't anything sexual. I just thought you were different and you wasn't scared of it. You were prettier than most little girls at your age. And besides, I ain't never wanted to be with no dude. A little bit after that is when I met Tree. And I always thought she looked like somebody I knew. But couldn't figure out who. Child. By the time I found out you were her son, you were like 13. And you know the rest. I really do like your mom and our relationship. But more than that, I love being close. To be able to protect you. And then the older you got, the more attractive you became. It's weird. I interrupted him. So now I'm weird? Is this supposed to make me feel better? Waleed put his hand over my mouth softly and said, "Please, Boo Bear, let me explain myself." I pulled his hand away from my mouth and said, "Boo Bear." Waleed rolled his eyes up in his head and said, "T, seriously, stop it." Like I was saying, it's kind of weird how after a while I stopped even looking at you as a boy. I mean, you ain't got no hair nowhere on your body. Your face and skin is so damn soft. And your ass is, my God. He reached down in his crotch and rubbed his business and said, "I just sat back and watched as you became the beautiful piece of work that you are. I mean, I got so jealous when you told me that little clothes-making dude had kissed you. I wanted to fuck him up. But they would throw my ass in jail. You think? Just the thought of him putting his lips on you, I really wanted that to be me. So last night, I didn't come over to my parents' house to fuck you. I really came to do my normal, to protect you. And once I was there, I didn't want to waste any more time. That little nigga was in our house and I could see he was at you strong. But you mine. I ain't losing you like that. Fuck that. And I know you feel the same way. I know you love me back, T. You are a lot more mature than a 16-year-old. Please just keep everything between us. And I promise you, as soon as you turn 18, I'm going to take you away from all this madness. And it's going to be just you and me. You ain't going to wait for nothing. You ain't going to want for nothing. Child got me over here. Can't even pronounce these words. He leaned in and kissed me softly on my lips. My insides were starting to heat up again. I didn't want to have these feelings, but I couldn't help it. He had me, and it was a wrap. A few seconds later, realism set back in, and in my head, all I could see is my mom. I pulled back from Waleed's soul-piercing kiss and said, "What about Mom, Waleed?" Before he could answer, his cell phone started ringing. He pulled the phone out of his pocket and looked at it, and on the screen, I could see it said, "Tree." He let it go to voicemail, but before he could even say another word, it rang again. I said, "See how bad karma works? Answer her, Waleed. We're the ones that are wrong." He answered, "Hey, babe, what's up?" He paused a moment and said, "He's right here. We're on our way home now." "Tree, what's wrong?" "Okay, babe, we'll hurry. Just chill out. I'll be there in a second." He hung up the phone and turned on the car, and we started out of the parking lot. He said, "Something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but something is wrong. We got to get home. But don't worry, you and I are not done. We will never be done, Boo Bear." He looked over and cracked a little grin. Reluctantly, I looked at his beautifully inviting mouth and gave him a return grin. He reached over and lifted my t-shirt and softly rubbed my belly button ring and said, "I love this." It's sexy as hell. I'm gonna get you a diamond letter T to go in there, marking my shit, you know? I chuckled and pushed his hand off my navel. He ran his hand down between my legs and said, I know you don't want to get me started touching you lower. We may never get home. I smacked his hand off of me. He took it and put it in his own lap, pushing down his business and said, Down, boy. T ain't ready to see you again right now. He ain't ready. He started laughing and I said, Whatever, man. We pulled up to the house and my mom was standing on the porch crying and talking to 2 policemen. I didn't even notice the police cars when we pulled up. Waleed jumped out of the car and quickly said, T, stay seated, baby. Don't move. He ran up into the porch and Mom collapsed in his arms. He was speaking to the police and I couldn't hear a crap. The suspense got to be too much. I got out of the car and started towards the step. Waleed looked over and yelled, I told you to stay in the car. I could hear more clearly Mom was babbling something about why and who did this. The policeman asked who I was. Waleed told them and they continued on to explain that early this morning, one of my brother's girlfriends named Fatima called in to a 911 operator and said she had just walked in and found my brother's dad laying face down on the floor in the living room of my brother's home. Apparently he had been shot multiple times in his back. She was pretty badly shaken, so she went out on the porch and sat until the police showed up. She told the officer that she had been able to reach my brother all last night and that they were supposed to be hooking up. She said that it was not out of character for him. She knew that she wasn't his main girl, and sometimes he did these disappearing acts. She said she decided to just show up this morning and the door was unlocked, but didn't look as though anyone broke in. And that's when she seen Edward's pops on the floor. As the authorities continued to search the home, they did discover my brother's dead body on the floor upstairs about a foot from his bedroom. My God. They think he was trying to get to his room. They stated that it looked like he could go to war with all the firepower they found in that room. And of course, they found a ridiculous amount of drug paraphernalia, but no drugs inside of the home. He had been out of his dad's house for about 3 or 4 months and had rented this place. We knew nothing about it. Ed talked mostly to Trianne. She said she didn't even know that he had moved away from his dad's house. The next few hours seemed to move in slow motion, like I was in a daze. I couldn't believe this was happening to us. But Mom always said this type of thing was possible. But I never thought we would go through this. The house was filled with neighbors and family members offering their help and sorrow for our loss. And a lot of them were just being downright nebby. I went and locked myself in my room. I couldn't stand it anymore. I don't know what I was feeling. I had a lot on my plate, and though I was grieving my brother's death, I couldn't get my own twisted triangle of deceit out of my head. My world was changing. It seemed moment to moment, and I was getting just a little scared. And scene. So that is chapter 4 of Loving Topaz. I know this week was a short read, but I can't even get into chapter 5 because chapter 5 is really, really, really long. So if I start it now, it's going to be longer than a 30-minute read. I looked at the amount of pages. So this week, read chapter 3 and 4. I can't. I'm going to drop the link like I always do. If you want to come up and we can discuss what we just read tonight. But chapter 3. Now, how you go from chapter 3 where they doing all this hunching and carrying on to chapter 4 now somebody dead? 2 people dead. Like, I don't get it. That's too much of an extreme. It's too big of a jump. Come on, James. What you got going on? Lord Jesus. So y'all in the chat, for those of you that are just joining us, you might have to catch the replay, but if you want to talk, thank you very much, Leslie. If you guys want to have a chit chat, this is what we do after the read. I let the Almond Delights, we have a discussion either in the chat or you can hit the link and come up. You don't have to show your face, but just don't show nothing else. Okay? Or we can come up and we can discuss what it was that we read either this week and we can discuss last week since it was a short week to read or whatnot. But I knew something was up with Waleed. And you get this man a whole nother nickname, and you looking at him all funny. You want to be his protector. Coming to find out, you've been watching this boy since he was 12 years old, and he's 16. That's nasty. Now, Waleed was cute last week when he was describing him, but now listening to Waleed, you sat up here and you taking advantage of this boy. He's 16, but he's still, he's still a child. Thank you, Jada. It was good. It was good, but I mean, Waleed ain't that cute no more. He ain't that cute no more. And now I feel like he's going to take advantage of Topaz, especially now after his brother has died. He's going to be all vulnerable and stuff. So all he got to do is come over there and just whisper in his ear and just tell him a little something, and then he just going to lay down and give it to him again. He just going to lay down and give it to him all over again. So, I mean, how do y'all feel? What do y'all think about these two chapters of the read? Were you guys surprised of Waleed's behavior, or did you guys see it coming too? Because I don't know. It was just something about last week. It was something about last week that had me feeling like Waleed. So we see Waleed like to go to the other church too. He go to our church, but he go to the other church too. And I wonder if Topaz is his first male lover, because he said he felt weird that he was even attracted to him, but you knew everything to tell him to do to you. So I'm just a little confused. You shocked? Yeah, I'm shocked too. I'm shocked, but not. It was something about him last week. The book did take a transition. It did. It go from, I'm finna come over here and carry on and do all this stuff to you, until now all of a sudden, right, Angela, Tree ain't got, listen, Tree don't know what's going on. It's THREA, Tree. She don't know what's going on. She up here crying in her man's arms. No, her man was just holding on to her son in a different embrace. She thinking that he's there to comfort her. Oh my God, my son just got killed, and his daddy just got killed. I need you to hold me. Why give me a sucker? And this man was just sleeping with your son. Oh, when she find out, I gotta, now I want to know what she gonna do. I want to know what she gonna do. I want to know what Trianne gonna do, because we know Trianne, which is the sister, she can't stand Topaz. Trianne cannot stand Topaz, and she only talked to Edward, which was the other brother. So now that Edward is gone, how is she going to treat Topaz? I'm surprised, but I kind of thought something was going to happen. Exactly. Yes, Waleed is bisexual. We see now Waleed like little boys. I don't care if he like a man, but he likes little boys. He like little boys. She gonna kill that man. But you know what? I honestly believe she gonna blame Topaz, because she blamed Topaz for Trianne even beating him up. How you gonna blame this man for getting beat up? She attacked him. He didn't do anything to her. So I feel like she's really gonna blame her son. I'm sorry. And there's some women that do that. They always blame the child. They don't never think about the adult in the situation. Yeah, he's 16 years old, but I don't think that he gave her what I don't care what Topaz would have did around Waleed. I don't care if he walked around him naked. He's still the adult. Waleed is in his, let me see. Cause he's 14 years younger. Wait a minute. His mama 32. He's 16. He the youngest of three. Got a 19-year-old sister. His mama 32, and the boyfriend is, I think, 6 years younger than her. 5 years. 5 years younger than her. So he's 27. So the mom's 32. Waleed, which is the boyfriend, is 27. The sister is 19. The other brother was in between. And then he's 16. So, yeah. Which is like giving a sucker all right. Right. Waleed is 27. Yep. But she's going to blame him. If an adult is sleeping with a minor, that's the R word. Exactly. It really is. But you know what? They're gonna. Well, I don't even know. They're not. Of course, they're not in Georgia. I know in Georgia, the age of consent is 16 years old. That's why Eddie Long allegedly didn't get in trouble for those boys that he was messing around with, allegedly, because they were 16. So in some states, it depends on the state, the age of consent is not always 18. It's not always 18. So, but yeah, that is this week's read. If you guys have any other questions or comments, I'm going to drop the link once more while I do my church announcements. So for those of you that may be joining us for the first time over here at the Almond Delights Reading Corner, if you have not subscribed to my channel, why not? You're here. Subscribe to the channel. If you missed this read, please catch the replay. If you missed the first read, go back, listen to the first read. But if you also like to listen podcast style, I will upload this video as a podcast version on my podcast. It's at anchor.fm/AlmondBrown09. My alma bearer Shadia has placed it down in the chat. If you are an author and you would like for me to read your book here on my platform, feel free to email me at almondbrown09@gmail.com so we can get the discussion going about me reading your book here at the Reading Corner. Of course, you will be in queue because after this book, we also have four other books. I'm sorry. Because there's, after this author and his other two books, we have two more authors we have to read. So, you know, the Almond Delights Reading Corner will be going on. We do the Reading Corner every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, you know, take your mind away from the stressors of the first day back to work or all of the messiness that may be going on around you and listen to a good read. Why not? And if you're a content creator, please feel free to share this video. You don't have to be a content creator to share it in the text message, on your Instagram, on your Facebook. You can share the video. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Before we leave, as we show love to one another, please drop your chocolate and your sun emojis in the chat. And don't forget to thumbs up the video, like. And then after the video is over with, I always ask for you to come back and leave a comment. Just in case the chat is not up, leave a comment to let people know how you like the read so they'll know. Because, you know, people like to come back and look at the comments. So just in case the chat box is not up just yet, please leave a comment down below after the live is over. Like I said, drop your chocolate and your sun emojis in the chat. For those of you that don't know what that means love and light. That's what we spread over here, love and light. If you can't find your chocolate or your sun emojis in your little emoji box, just leave a heart for your girl. I appreciate you guys for joining me tonight for our read of Loving Topaz. If you see Mr. James Colwell, aka Spilly Boy, out there in the street somewhere, tell him how you feel or leave it in the comment section because he does come back and watch the video. So please leave a comment after this is over and let him know how you feel about it, what you think about the characters, what you would have changed, how you feel about it, all that good stuff. If you have any critiques for me, I'm not, I'm open to constructive criticism. Okay, but yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I love you guys with the love of God, and there is nothing you can do about it. Oh, and tomorrow night here on the channel around 9:30 ish, we will be doing our delightful trivia, or I think it's gonna be called nasty piece of trivia night. So y'all come back tomorrow. We have our trivia nights on Tuesdays around 9:30. Oh, you found Family Feud after hours edition, so we can do that next week. Okay, so tomorrow night we will be doing the old nasty piece of trivia, so y'all can share and come back and have fun. You know, just good, clean fun, good fun. So come back and contribute to the fun. I love you guys with the love of God, and there is nothing you can do about it. Love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. All right, bye. Thank you all for joining another episode of Almond Delights Reading Corner. I pray that you enjoyed yourself and you're relaxing your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. Come back and join us again next week as we continue our reading. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Be blessed and enjoy your evening.